Right, okay, guys. Johnny, Mr. Forex Fire. So there was CPI data news, PPI data news yesterday in the morning and afternoon. CPI news was today as well on the morning. So I'm going to have a little look at the New York session. It's not often I trade the New York session, but this works well in all sessions, to be fair. I'm just going to share the screen. And I do have school runs and everything to do a bit later. So again, I can only do this up to a certain time. Okay. This is the reason why I normally trade the the London session, We'll just get rid of this. So we're going to run through the pairs and take a look. So we're going to start with a CAD JPY. It's coming up to the the New York Open, I should say. Let's see where we are. So we're stuck within a range here at the minute, so we'll not be looking at the CAD JPY, the Euro, or we'll take a look again. We're stuck within a range, although we can see we have been returning back towards this from the Asian swing into the London, So I'm just going to take a little look at this. This might be a little bit interesting. We'll take it on the 5 minutes. And then take another 1 minute. We'll drill ourselves in. We can see we've got the touch on the anchor. We can see we did have plenty of separation candles. And now it's just about looking inside of the price action at the minute. And you're looking for a bullish candle followed by a bearish engulfing, to be fair, from where we had a touch. So bullish by a bearish engulfing, bullish by a bearish engulfing. We got one here. Okay. So we just go on here. So if we look at this, we're looking for a short. We had one here, but again, you would have missed it. But like I say, we'll do it from here anyway. That would be the entry uh, up to. It might be a little bit too far to be fair, but we'll talk about this in a minute. I'll just auto scale this out. So 1 to 2 there. So we're looking at around 36 pips for about a 72 pip gain. But again, because there's been so much played inside of here throughout the day, you've got all these different liquidity highs, So you could use the London high maybe as the liquidity. So we go for the conservative, which is from the sweep of the Asian. But the London, we're going to mark this up as if it's going to be a test from the London as well. Okay, so we'll do the liquidity from the London high. We'll see if we can get a 1 to 2 a little bit quicker. Like I said, this is just about experimenting as well, guys. Let's just explain what I mean by this. So we normally go by session breaks and things like that. We can see London, we've just been in and out of here. We could have like a one shot here. There's an entry on here. There is a little bit of drawdown at the minute. I just need to go into this here, get the entry price, copy that, do it onto here, entry price. So I know I've got that entry at the same level. Right, so that will be your 1 to 2. over to there. So what I'm getting at is obviously we've got liquidity residing from here. Okay, you see where the London high is? You've got all these liquidity points. The conservative amount would be from where the session high break of the Asian, okay? However, London only ever came as high as this here. So I'm going to use that as a possible sort of SL area. And at the same time, if it comes and breaks through that, you've still got that Asian hybrid. So the 1 to 2 on a bigger time here and a 1 to 2 here. We'll see if it hits. Again, when you're looking at this is about the halfway point of what the bigger move is. So I can move this into the 1 minute condition. I'll turn that green and then we'll go back into the setups here. We'll take some look. Right, so we've had a sweep at the minute on Euro GBP. And again, these guys are not the pairs that I normally trade. I'm sort of practicing with these just to see if I can get something that's fluid, if that makes sense. I normally just use the EU, the GU, the CAD JPY, the USD JPY. But for this week, we've opened up a basket with a fire entry basket. I'm testing with different things, to be fair. So again, I can move this into the 15-minute anchor and I'll turn that orange. So I know I'm watching it Euro JPY now. We did have a little sweep here. I'm not going to entertain that one at the minute. Euro USD. Right, so we've had the sweep out. And we're just going to do that there again. Turn that orange. I'll bring this into 15 minutes. The GBP odd. Right, nice. We've had a swing out of the London session. Okay, we'll turn that orange. We'll bring this into the 15-minute, the GU. Right, so I think this might break lower before going higher. I'll put this on an orange. I'll stick it into the watch list. USD card. And so we've had a break and then a pull back in here. I'm not liking that. I'm going to leave it USD Swiss franc. Let's take a look. Right, so this might be interesting. We've swept it in London, we've swept the Asian, and we swept the PM. So there's a lot of displacement come back into this. So this could be a potential good one. So we can do this. Just get rid of that, and I can make that orange. And then finally the USD JPY. Right, so we've had a sweep out of London. We've come back into 50% of the Asian, and then we've had a sweep back out of the London here. So again, when we look at this might be a continuation drive. Excuse me. And again, I mean, this is a different factor to what I'm looking at. Again, we could be looking at something like a harmonic setting up. So I'm factoring in my other experience with what I'm seeing. So at the moment, I'm not liking that as a pattern, but we've got this one here, which was a potential setup, okay, which is again, this is the euro odds. We'll try and, in fact, I'll make that pink because whenever I'm testing something, I like to sort of make things pink. So the reason why I've got an SL here is because it works out to be the London high, okay? The London high was all the way back here. So yes, we broke structure of the Asian, okay? And we got the pullback, but the London didn't come and touch into here on the 50%. The 50% has not come and touched in until it come towards the New York session, okay? So this will give me my London sort of box, but at the same time, I'm factoring in the play from the sweep of the Asian, if that makes sense. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch, this one. If it stops out and goes to here, we'll just use what would normally be the natural attempt. But we'll just see if we can get this 1 to 2 from here. Again, we'll go into the Euro GBP. We'll take a look. It's all about just following price. Euro USD. Again, we're following price, so we're waiting for a touch to come back into here. GBP odd. Following price, waiting for the touch to come in. The GU. Again, I want to see more movement back up there, but I do believe that this may, as it's come down like this, I do think this might just do this for a while, and then it might shoot off. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Again, we can't put the fibs on this at the moment, but we'll keep tabs on it. USD Swiss franc. Again, we're waiting for a touch to come into here. Okay, so hopefully this displacement's come in. I'm hoping that this will not just come in and touch straight away. We want to get some momentum on here, you know. Like I say, you've got your high up here, down to your low. You don't want this candle. I mean, there's a separation candle happening there now, because we're just going to close this candle now. We may get a touch on the next candle. But we'll just watch again. It might want to go lower as well. If I just place this onto the 1 minute as well. I'll be back in a short while, guys. Like I say, I cannot be on for too long because once it gets to 3 o'clock, it's a little bit mayhem in my house because obviously school runs and the kids and I come back. But I'll try and see if I can factor in a couple of setups before that 3 o'clock time comes round. Okay. Ideally, I wouldn't be interrupted, but like I say, having 2 kids, it's hard to get on screens for New York sessions. But this will work on New York. Trust me. I've done it when I was doing setups when the kids were off school during the Christmas and that. Just to sort of before I go on a pause here, I did a run up from just before Christmas. It was the back end of November through to December. I was showing you setups, and I did some live recording vlogs, and I also did some sort of back testing overview, bird's eye shots of the 15-minute anchor, 5-minute condition, and then the 1 minute fire entry hook. Yeah. So like I said, I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a very short while, and we'll see if any of these orange ones can turn green. Okay. I'm just going to take a look to see where we are on this pink one. So it's in drawdown still at the minute. Be back in a short while, guys. Right, so we've come into the open. You can see here that I'm starting to start in the 1 minute. The blue will, once this candle finishes, it'll start turning into the blue session for the New York. But we can see we're starting to get the pullback now. As we're getting closer in with Euro USD, again, almost at a touch, ready for when we're going to be looking at, I think, for separation. I can see we already have separation anywhere, but we're getting the ducks lined up as we should see. We'll go for the GBP on. We'll see where we are with this. Again, we'll set ourselves up for this. We'll put the fibs onto the 5 minutes. And we'll just wait for a touch back in. And again, what you'll see, guys, is if you watch up here, you'll see a cursor or the crosshair. So that's where the top of that is up here. Okay. We'll go from there down to the bottom of here. We're all good on that. The GU is what we were watching because it wasn't quite giving us, again, this candle here, you'll see there's a liquidity here. So we can't draw the fibs because price has not come above this. If that makes sense, you can't draw the fib from this to this here because that's technically not a swing point. There's just been a liquidity grab from this aspect, if that makes sense, you know. So Again, we just need to be mindful and keep an eye on this one. The U-shape, again, we're heading towards 50%. I think I'll start setting some alarms, to be fair. And the G odds, we should have 3 or 4 alarms coming in, to be fair. Right, so price, we need to follow price on this. The EU, I should say. The EU, we're heading in towards the 50% now. We'll set an alert. And the EG, so it's not sure what it wants to do on this one yet. So again, I'm going to pause the video, guys. I'll be back in a short while. I'll try and make this one short and sweet for to get into a setup. Hopefully we'll get something coming before 2:30 towards 3 o'clock. And then I can just give you an up-to-date consensus at the end. We'll see if we can grab an entry, okay? I'll see you in a short while, guys. Right, so the EU, it looks like we're coming in to possibly a touch. Okay, we're just waiting for the 15-minute anchor to confirm itself. But if I come into this, we can see, okay, we do have 2 separation candles, to be fair. So we could be looking at a potential for an entry. We're not quite hitting into this at the minute. It's rejecting just before the 50%. I do want to see price come into it, to be fair. We might get it here now, guys. Right, so we've broken through that, but we've not set the alarm off for some reason. It's because I've got the volume down. I do apologise. Let's get this volume up. Right, so 50% in. Again, I like to see at least a candle or two, to be fair, after the swing high. But I don't know. This is something I need to test out, to be fair. We are coming into separation candles, but because we're looking for the buy, okay, the condition you're looking for on this is basically a bearish candle, and that's got to be followed up by a bullish engulfing, you know. So that's on the 1-minute condition that we're waiting for at the minute. So we can pull this down to the 1 minute. We're not quite in an entry yet, but we are getting into that. So we're into the 1 minute setup, which need to keep an eye out. So we've got 2 seconds left, and that's closed on a red candle. So because it's so small, I can possibly get ready for the setup. Let's have a look. One to two. 20 odd seconds left. We can see higher targets up here. I mean, we're not quite at the London high there, but we do have higher targets there. 10 seconds left, and we're red at the minute. And this is what I like about this system. Yes, you're getting ready to come in on an entry, but there's still mechanics even on that 1 minute, you know. So it's not as if you're jumping straight in. You've still mechanically got to have that volume in your favor, to be fair. So again, I'm just going to possibly mark one of these out. Or what sort of 2.26? It's hardly worth. But we've got a session high up there as well, to be fair, so I could stick that up towards there, which will give it a nice 1 to 5.63, to be fair. Right, so we're coming into the last 13 seconds. Four seconds. Are we going to be bullish? Yes. Right, so that's the candle entry there. I just want to go into here. I want to get to the entry. Place the entry onto that. So I know it's the same. And I want to place the stop the same. Okay, so I know the entry is going to be playing off the same. Okay, I know the stop's going to be off the same. However, we are targeting a higher area as well. So it just means that these are confluent with each other. So we've got a 1 to 2 and then a 1 to 5.95. So we'll see how this one plays. So we've got an entry on this, guys. Okay, we'll just put the fibs into play here. The black line is going to be your marker for where you take partial on the 1%. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this setup here. Okay, with this one being a 595, that halfway point is nearly 3%. Okay, so we've got a setup there. We've got a setup in the euro odd. We'll just see if this is still in its drawdown at the minute. The euro odd has a tester. At the minute. Oh, look at this, guys. We are moving nicely on this now. This was the conservative setup with regards to the SL above the Asian high. I do believe it would have been. This one is just above the London high. So again, if we come down and we get a touch into this level here, remember that's a 1% on the tester one. Just try and get this set up to fits data screen. Right, so we'll get that there. Let's go back and go through the pairs. Euro GBP. Again, we haven't gotten the pullback yet. The GBP odd. I need to stretch this out a little. The GU. Again, this hasn't come above this level, so the GU might go back up in here in a minute. USD Swiss franc. Right, so we've had a pullback into this, so we might have missed an entry at the minute. So the 15-minute anchor is confirmed. Confirmation of separation candles. Okay, we're now looking for a sell, so we're looking for a bullish candle followed by bearish engulfing. Okay, so about 50% came in here. So bullish followed by a bearish. You can see it's right there. So an entry would have been on that candle. Your stop loss would be just above that. You wanted to would be down here. Okay. Your 50%, which will be your 1% on that fib. I'm just going to get rid of this, and I'm just going to see if there's targets lower down here. Okay, so this red line would be the London low. Okay, we do have an AM session, so if we just do this, if I set another one up beside it, and we go to target that New York session, oh, it's 1 to 3.66. Again, double click on this. We're going to get the entry because the entry would have been the same. We'll paste that there. We'll double click and we're going to get the stop loss because the stop loss will be the same. The only thing different is the target. Paste that in there. So we've got a 1 to 3.65 and a 1 to 2. And again, as we do, we're going to measure out that area there. So that 1 to 3.65, this would be like something like one, the halfway point would be 1.6 something or something, 1.7 or something like that, you know. So again, we've got a setup there. We can turn that green. We'll bring this down to here. So we'll go from the top, CAD JPY. Obviously, these is, we haven't had a breakout of the session. Euro JPY, there was a slight breakout here. We have had a touch there, to be fair. We have had a touch into here, to be honest. Okay. Or have we? Yeah, we've had a touch into there. So this will be a tester because obviously this broke out on London session. Okay, so again, we're going from that there. In fact, it's not that there. I do apologize. It was from that there down to that there. We do have plenty of condition candles separation, you know. What we're looking for once we've had the touch from this aspect, okay, you're looking for a sell, so you're looking for a bullish followed by a bearish engulfing, and that came right on that candle. So if I just do this, we can go just above the London. There's two setups we technically could do on this, okay? In fact, that's 60 pips. So that's quite a distance, to be fair. We'll put this on the pink. 1 to 2. We'll put this into the pink as a tester. GBP. We did have a break. We did have a break on here. And then up to here. Okay, we have had a touch. So again, this up to here, up to here. Plenty of separation candles, as you can see. Goes without saying. There's several in there. And if I just do from there up to there, we're looking for a buy. So we're looking for a bearish candle followed by a bullish engulfing. Right, so we got bearish and then bullish. Like I said, these that I'm setting up at the minute, I don't normally trade these, so this is going to be new to me as well, guys. Okay, so again, the system works on what I've already gone through in the Discord. Okay, so if you're watching this elsewhere, you've got to be in the Discord to see what pairs I primarily trade this on. But again, I'm just testing on some of these pairs. I've added some stuff into the baskets and we'll see what happens with it. So that's the 50% marker. Just delete that out. Bring this along. USD cards. In fact, that's got to be green. That's down USD card. Did we get a flick out on this? Yes, and we've had it pull, and then we've had an instantaneous touch back in, but again, it's consolidated. There's no displacement, if that makes sense. But should we mark it up? I mean, there's that. No, you wouldn't mark this one up because you can see instantly why. Look, high, low, wicked, bodied straight into it. So that's not a setup. USD we have had a wick out, touch in, wick out, touch in, and we've had two separations. Okay, so we're looking for a sell. So you're looking for a bullish candle, followed by a bearish engulfing. So that's this one here. Okay, so again, short this here. You can see there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can see you've got a liquidity high here. So it just depends on how sort of aggressive you want to be. So again, a 1 to 2. Nine's all right. Yeah, we'll do this as a test, and we'll go the liquidity high inside the leg. Okay, so again, first of all, I just want to do this, and I want to get the halfway point on this. And then just get rid of that. I'm going to do another short. We're just going to do it above this liquidity high, okay? So again, 1 to 2, we could be in and out and getting a quicker setup here. So it'll be this. We only need the entry. Okay, we only need the entry. Paste that in there. We can look for a 1 to 2. Okay. Again, the fibs. And then the marker for the 2% or the 1%, which is 50% of the 1 to 2. So, guys, we've got a number of setups now, okay, on the New York session. We've got two that we're experimenting with. And again, we should make that one pink as well, to be fair, because obviously we're using the inside high as well. So let's have a little look and a rundown of what we've got. I'm not going to add any more on there. I think there's plenty for us to sort of anticipate and watch through. We've got a one that's coming to a 1%. So it's a 1 to 2. It's the 1% again. The practice on this, or the sort of what's the word I was using? The test. The testing is we're using an inside high. Okay. So again, the 1 to 2. This would be a 2% or a 1% of this particular field of play. Okay. Or there's the more conservative approach, which was this one going to the previous session high. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this though. The Euro JPY, let's see where we are with this. We are hovering around we're hovering around the entry area. Euro USD. Again, we've had some profits. Let's get this in here. We are in profits, but just barely. GBP, JPY, we are bouncing on the entry level. Uh, and then we've got drawdown, and then the USD JPY, we're in profit. So what I'm just going to open this up. Go into this. Right, so now because I've got the setups, we can now just like go into this on a bigger screen now. So let's run that back one more time and I'll pause the video, guys. So we've got the 1 minute setup. Again, this is the tester. We've gone to like the previous Asian swing high as an SL conservatively. However, we do have a London high and we're entering in the New York. So you would possibly use the London high. To be fair, it would give you a better sort of field of play. And obviously you were in, you nearly had a 1% there. The Euro JPY, we'll take a look at that. To the screen. Bouncing along the entry, the Euro USD. Again, we're coming down into the drawdown at the minute, the GBP, GPY. We're entering drawdown, USD, CHF, we're in drawdown. So it's not looking too good to be fair, and we're in entry. Okay, I'll pause the video, I'll be back in a short while, guys. Okay, guys, so I thought I'll give an update before 3 o'clock and I'll do this school run. We are in a bit of drawdown. Remember, this pink one is a test. The test is the London high as opposed to the official Asian high, which is where the entry would have came in. We're trying to see if this, excuse me, if this test trade would hold. Again, if it doesn't, it just means that this one was the tested trade. The official trade would have been this here. This black line is the 50% of the 1 to 2. That will be 1% of this test trade. The 1% is here on the official one. Okay, we've got the Euro JPY as well, which is in a bit of a test trade as well. Again, it's going against us. So again, when the pink, I'm going against the natural mechanics of the system because I've got to try and see if we can get some refinements to make things better as well, you know. So when the pink, it just means we're testing into a trade that isn't going with the grain of the mechanics. So there may be something that we try and within these. The green ones are the trades, obviously, that we have followed the mechanics with. So the Euro USD is at the minute heading towards the 1% of this 1 to 2. Okay, that's what this black line is for. If I just get rid of the fibs, so that black line is the 1% of the 1 to 2. Okay, we looking at higher targets, which is the AM session of the New York yesterday, which is a 1 to 5.95. Okay, that 50% line, which would be a 1 to 3, is that line there. Okay, so that trade's going well at the minute. Mechanics on the GBP, JPY. Let's just have a setup on this and take a look. GBP, JPY. We'll just wait for the screens to catch up with ourselves. We've hit the 1% on this 1 to 2. So again, another good one following the mechanics. We'll go to the USD CHF. We nearly got stopped out earlier on. But again, we've come down and it's still live, this one, to be fair. 50% is this here. We do have another target as well, which is further. But again, we'll keep an eye on this one. So this is possibly the only one that's going against us, which is of the true mechanics, if that makes sense. The USD JPY, which is, again, it's a testing trade that we're looking at. So it's going against what we would normally do on the mechanics. We're trying an inside leg. So again, this would have been the true setup. However, why it's pink is because I'm trying the inside leg liquidity here. So again, it's like it's shortened the field of play, but it also shortens the risk area. So if this comes above this black line here, okay, if this comes above here, then it's not particularly an SL until it goes above this here, okay? I've given a little bit of breathing space from that liquidity candle high, lower high, okay? So again, 1 to 2, and then a 1 to 2 here. This one here, it would be the tester. But so far, the Euro USD is going to plan and going well. So is the JBP, JPY. Again, we're near enough at the 1% there. We do have that bigger target in the JPP, JPY. Again, we have rocketed through the 1% area going towards the 2%. So again, guys, like I said, this system works on all sessions, London, New York, and Asian. Albeit when you go into the Asian, you're going to be hitting spreads and things like that, okay? So I'll continue to monitor this. I'm going to pause the recording at the minute. We'll come back a little bit later, and then hopefully we'll have seen some TPs hit, okay? So I shall see you in a short while. Right, okay, guys. So the kids will be back any second. So I'm going to give you one last run through before I have me tea and have to get the tea and then on for the kids anyway. So we have been dotted around the entry to nearly 1% of this 1 to 2. Okay, this was a test. The test was inside leg, lower sort of SL point. So it's holding, so it's working well. So there could be some data collected there with regards to if this holds and we do get a 1 to 2, I'll put it down and mark it down as a possibility that we can use sort of lower, like refined sort of SLs, I should say. The Euro JPY, we'll take a look at that. We can see we are bouncing around the entry still. The Euro USD, that was a test as well, remember. The Euro USD, we get into this one. This was one of the first official mechanic, fully followed the mechanics, I should say. Let's take a look. We've hit the 2%. Okay, the 2% being here. So there's a winner for you, 2% winner. We have headed up towards a 3%. We do have a bigger target of 1 to 5.95. So 2% winner straight away. So I'm just going to put on here 2%. So that good start for the New York session. Like I say, the computer is freezing up because I've got a lot going on at the minute. 2% certainly hits. The GBP, JPY, guys, let's take a look at this. We have hit the 1% area. It's come back down to break even. So again, that's a 1%. So it's still profitable. It's still in a live trade because it hasn't hit an SL. But again, if you're one that moves your SL to break even, it's after you've done like 1% and you've took a partial, then you might be out on this one. But if officially, it's still in on the trade. So 1% has been hit on that as well. We'll have a look at the USD Swiss francs. That's 3% so far, guys. USD Swiss franc. USD Swiss franc again. 1%'s been hit on this as well. It's 4% so far. And then we've got the USD JPY. We've hit 2% on the tester. So 2%. 2% winner. So let's run this through so we've got the full numbers so far before I get interrupted with the kids. So, excuse me. We've got, this is still running, it hasn't quite hit the 1%. We've got the Euro JPY. Again, hasn't quite gone through the entry, I should say. So we've got the Euro USD. We've got 2% banked, would have been banked. We still have a possible further target. So there's two. The GBP, JPY, we've hit the 1%, so that's 3. USD, CHF, 1% there. It's touched, that's 4. USD, JPY, we have hit 2%. That's 6%, guys. 6% so far on the New York session, okay? Like I say, I'll pause the video. I'll come back in a short while and we'll see what's actually happened a little bit later, okay? 6% is the official so far out of a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, out of about 12, so about half. We're getting half of all the targets that's possible so far. So I'll be back a little bit later, guys, just to finish this off. All right, okay, guys, 4:15. We'll see where we are at the moment. We're nearly at 2% here. We have hit the 1%. Okay, so there's 1% on the Euro odd, the Euro JPY. Let's take a look on this. We need to see if we are near the 1%. We're not quite at the 1% on that at the minute. Okay, so that will be the area here. So again, we're still on 1% at the moment. We've hit 2%, which is the low hanging fruit, which is what we need. So that's 3% now bagged. What could have been bagged. We have hit this higher target where, like when I said the 1 to 6, it's halfway point on that. So that's like the 3% there. So we'll put on another 2% instead of 3, because obviously we'll put on that 1% as we'll run it back. We've got 1%. We haven't quite got that there. We've got, in fact, what's that one there? 1%. This one's a 1 to 5. So there's 3% because it's tagged that. It's a 1 to 5.95. So we put on a 3% move. There's 4. The GBP, JPY, 1%. There's 5, a possible out of 5. It's 2% being tagged there, so that's 7. USD, JPY, 2% as well. So that's 8, 9% of possibility. Again, at the would you have gotten a 9%? Possibly, possibly not. But again, these ones where it has went to the TP of the 2%, certainly you would have gotten those if you'd entered. The ones that have been at 1% sort of fluctuated, you would still be being in them. So again, possible 9%. So again, the New York session has been absolutely fantastic this afternoon. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video. I'll come back in the next hour or two. We'll see where these are to see if any of them have played out or went and struck back out at the SL. And if they have struck out at the SL, obviously, and haven't reached at least 2%, then we'll have a full conclusion of where we are at, okay? But hopefully what you've seen today on the New York session, it just adds credit towards what the system is and what it does, okay? Very consistent, guys, okay? I'll see you in a short while. Right, okay, guys, so it is now just after 7 o'clock at night. We're going to go over and take a look at what has happened or what could have been. Again, test and trade. It did go to 1%. It did come back up and it would have struck out here. So you could have had it at 1%. So I'm just going to put this on here because, like I said, the pings are for the test trades. So you could have basically, let's say you're going to take half of the risk off and then move the SL to break even. Okay, so you would have taken half of it off, so that's a 0.5% when it got to the 1% back to break even, and then it struck you out. We'll go to the Euro JPY. Again, this is not quite down to the 2%. We'll see where it's at the moment. So like naught, we'll see a 0.5. Okay, so if you close that out, it'll be another 0.5%. So you're at 1. We'll have the Euro GBP. Again, there's 2% there, but we'll class this as if we're going for that bigger. In fact, 2% is the target. We were looking for a 1 to 5.95, but we'll just class it as the 2% plus the 2%. We'll not class, even though it's kit up here, which would be like the 3% nearly, we'll just class it as the 2. The GBP, JPY. We reached up to 1%. Okay, so again, taking half of the risk off for when it comes back down to break even, so plus a 0.5%. We'll go to the U-Chef. The U-Chef at the moment, again, this is a 1 to 3.65. It's done the 2%, as you can see from that aspect easily. So we'll class that as a 2% winner, the low hanging fruit, plus the 2%. And then there's the USD JPY. We'll see where we are with this. Again, goes without saying 2% quite easily. So plus another 2%. So overall, if you'd followed what would have been the risk plan or the trading plan that I normally implement, where when you get to the 1% of the 1 to 2, you're taking off half of the off the table, so that 1%, you're taking off 0.5%, and then you're moving yourself to break even. There was easily 7.5% in profits today. It is on the New York session. Okay, so again, the reason why I don't necessarily trade New York as much is simply because, like I said earlier on, the kids coming from school, there's a lot of disruption, whereas on the morning I can get more done. But this is just showing you now that you can trade this on New York. It's a system for all sessions, because basically, in essence, what you're doing is you're trading the breakout, a return from the breakout into a 50%. You're then going to look for the separation candles. The separation candles are there mechanically to tell you that the volume isn't enough for it to continue in its trend that it's broken out on. And then you're going into the system of a 1 minute mechanic, where you're waiting for that reversal of the, like in a sell situation, you're looking for a bullish candle followed by a bearish engulf, and that just tells you that the volume is coming back into the sell side. Okay, for a buy, you're looking for a bearish candle followed by a bullish engulfing, which again is telling you the volume is coming back in for the buy side volume. Okay, so hopefully this video today is giving you some confidence to see that yes, this does work in New York sessions. I know there was somebody asked the question in Discord today, it doesn't work on New York. I've been doing it from November, end of November through December into the first week of January with the diary vlogs, which this is now going to become one of those vlogs. I've done quite a few on London sessions. I've only done a few on New York. This is another one that we can add into the New York system, especially on the diary. And you can see 7.5%. Quite easily done, guys. Okay, give it a thumbs up, comments, likes. If you're watching this on the YouTube thing, drop us a comment on the YouTube, please, because I know I'll put this on the YouTube and I'll put the link into the Discord. Please drop us a comment, let us know what you're thinking of the system. I know when I go into the Discord, just before I close off, I'll just go into the share. Just bear with me, we'll do this one last thing. Just to show you guys that I'm probably not inside the Discord. Let's have a look. So again, this was the question I had today. For us in the States, have you been using this more with the afternoon session than the AM? So it works well on both sides. I primarily use it on the London, but it does work well in the New York. I've just shown you that. Uh, Phil Clark, been trading and following what we do from day one. Basically, Phil's a good mate. Yeah, markups in the London session using the fire entry. 2%, two hit 1%, and then he had 5 of them hit 2%. So he's done what, 5 times a 2, that's 10, and then 2, what? So 12% he's done. 12% he's done on that session. You've just seen me hit 7.5 there. There's 19.5% just between me and Phil there, you know. So again, it's a great system. Like I say, it's amazing, the stuff with the fire entry, top stuff, great results. And I've just put in here this afternoon that I was looking at a New York session and the assets that I've marked at the time was around about 6% in profits. We've ended this at 7.5. It's like I say, a 7.5 there. And I'm just about to upload this. So by the time you're watching this, the upload will be in the Discord. And again, guys, if you're watching this outside of the Discord, what we have inside of here is on the fire entry stuff. It's all in here, condensed down what the mechanics are, the 15-minute anchor, the condition, the trigger. I've got news, why I don't trade it during certain news events. I've got a risk management area. This is an absolute belter of a trading plan, especially for this system, to get even more squeezed out of it and profits. And then I've got the diary where I do daily vlogs. If I'm trading it through the day, and I update everybody inside of it, and they can go back and watch what I do. I do this for everybody that's in the Discord, but at the same time, I do it for myself because I like to go back at the end of each week and I watch through what I've done on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So again, that's it for today's session, the 16th of January, Thursday. John, Mr. Forex Fire, out. We'll see you later, guys.